face. Drawing the face, wow, yeah. Drawing the face is it's the most common object of artistic pursuit, I think, when you're drawing people. I'll be talking about how to draw the human face using a series of steps. Pretty easy. Drawing the face is relatively easy to practice. Anybody can do it. I've drawn a lot of faces, the same face. I've taken classes for that, you know. And I've seen many of you, our fellow students, drawing faces just when people are giving speeches and stuff, or drawing whatever. I'm going to go over how to do that today. So, the first thing that you need to know about is the materials that you're going to be using. So you need a pencil. Usually any pencil will do. Some pencils are geared towards, artistic drawings and stuff like that. They come in like varying degrees, shades and all that, like 2H or 4B. It's actually called hardness, but whatever, You need an eraser almost always at the end of the pencil, except for this one. A lot of artists like to use a kneaded eraser, which is sort of it's like this gray, like slab shaped like a regular one. You like squeeze it between your fingers until it's soft. You use it. And the advantage is that it doesn't mess up the page and doesn't leave any little shavings of eraser behind either. Now that you know the materials you're going to be using, you want to know how to use them, right? So you start off with a regular oval shape on the page. Basically, you want to make this like the size. I tried to make it the size of a head, regular person's head, my head. Maybe that's not a regular size head, but I put my face up to it to make sure and all that. This is yesterday. Then you really want to think about where the features are going to go. You don't want to just put them on there randomly, like the nose above the eyes and just, But you want to know that there's usually like half of its forehead and all that. So the next thing I usually like to do is draw a T, basically. Starting right here where the eyebrows are going to be. Then you go down from the center of it down to where the bottom of the nose is. And I draw another cross for where the eyes are going to be. And then another one down here for where they're going to be putting the lips and all that. Now that you've done that, you want to start adding in details and all. You have to erase those lines, which I couldn't do because it's a marker. So I like to start off with the lower lip right here, and that way you're working from the bottom up. Then, just do the outline, the under part of the upper lip. Just a little cleft deal right here, and when you're doing the nose, it's important to concentrate on that because it's in the center of the face and sort of makes or breaks it for the face, Just do the nostrils and the little tip of this part, whatever it's called. You don't need to outline the nose going all the way up because then it looks like potato head, That's stupid, so. And I do the upper eyelid, and then I add the eyeball, the little pupil, whatever it's called right there, because goes together better that way, And it's never just a complete circle alone in the eye. It's always partially covered up. You add the lower parts and a little bit of droopiness right down there, and the eyebrows, of course. So once you've done that, erase all that, you sort of refine the oval shape, And you add more shading. You add hair, you add ears, sort of just semicircle shapes on either side. Eyebrows a little better. Done more shading to define where the nose is. And one thing I'm always picky about is when you're doing the pupil of the eye right here, there's a little part that you don't black in. Sort of indicates where the light source is. So I've talked about how to draw the face and take you through the necessary steps. Now, as you can see, drawing a human face isn't very hard, and anyone can do it, so there you go.
I will ignore it. Can you just write it? I'm terrible at shading, but everything else I can get it done.
You gotta work on it, yeah.
Last night?
Yeah, I did it all in like 3 hours. It's like 30 seconds, like 30 seconds left. Now. Put a boot. I'm glad I got healed. I didn't want to carry anything back with me.
You guys say that
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I got this one, it's kind of like a weird down, so it's going to be
All right, James, you've got a pretty clear statement of your goal. The rhetorical question that you have at the beginning is fine. I thought you did a nice transition to what that topic was and how you're going to talk about it. The preview is just basically you're going to go through what the sequence is, so it's clear without being overly detailed. And I do think that sometimes there's stuff that doesn't get filled in your descriptions as you're going through the material, because it went from, I'm looking at the T lines, and the next one I'm looking at, that looks like a pretty damn formed face to me, and how did you get there? I could never get to all those eyes and that kind of stuff. I know that to you it's real simple. A smiley face is complicated for me, because first of all you have to be able to draw a circle, and I can't do that without a compass, so it's a little bit problematic. So I think you could maybe give us a little bit more detail on some of the things that you're going through. On the presentation issues, you've got kind of a disadvantage because you've got that up against the board there and you have to hold it up. You're sort of locked in that position. This would have been a good situation for maybe getting the easel out so that you could have a little bit more freedom of movement while you're talking to us. Yeah, that's what's in the corner there. So you end up having to talk to us sideways. The people on that side of the wall, they basically get your back for 80% of the presentation. You try and look up occasionally, but because you're constantly having to look at your material, you don't really engage the audience much. And that's one of those things, if your hands could be free from the visuals, you would, I think, be a lot more animated and a lot more involving as a speaker. As it is, we're getting one of these kind of over-the-shoulder kinds of presentations, and then the next thing that you do, and you got to kind of go through this step here, and it's a little distracting. You've got an interesting voice and a nice sardonic way of speaking, which I appreciate. I think it comes across pretty well. You get good humor out of it for the most part. So I don't see any big problems there, except sometimes maybe the energy level and the pacing seems to lag a little bit. Like I said, I think the biggest issues that you have are your audience contact and your position while you're standing there talking to us. Content, I thought, was pretty well developed. All right, thank you.